Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and assalamu alaikum. Today is Friday, May 23rd, and we are recording Mentorship Moment number 33. Today, we're going to record You Are What You Eat. I started my wellness journey a few years ago after I had been running for a while, but I didn't understand my unhealthy relationship with food until I read this book. I'm gonna start with the first book I read. It's called Cashing Out: Win the Wealth Game by Walking Away by Kirsten and Julian Sanders. So this is a black couple, started a blog and a podcast about the FIRE movement. And FIRE is Financial Independence, Retire Early. So they wrote this book a few years ago, and Crystal Dillard, one of my Facebook friends, introduced me to Cashing Out as a recommended reading. So the book said something that I wasn't sure I believed. So I'm going to read from page 57. It says, being financially secure means your immediate needs are met, but it doesn't mean you have the nicest version of all these needs. It simply means your days and decisions aren't burdened by the inability to acquire resources. You have enough to get by and aren't at immediate risk of financial catastrophe. It's also important to note that any money spent in this stage is not working for you. You are working for it. We found that reducing spending on the big three, housing, transportation, and food, offers the biggest bang for your buck in this phase. That means potentially downsizing, relocating to a more affordable area, sharing a home, or taking advantage of creative mortgage refinancing opportunities for those who can qualify and can afford that path. It can also include sharing a car, selling a car, or driving older vehicles. Last, it means cooking at home as often as possible. And I said, what? See, I wasn't raised like that. Now, somebody cooked at home in my house growing up, but it wasn't me. And my mother cooked every day, but she cooked because she liked it. So I had the advantage of cooking at home, but still didn't cook at home because I value me. So I think when we say cooking at home as often as possible, we don't include all the costs. We don't include the time to go to the store. We don't include the meal prep, the planning that goes involved in a meal. We don't include the person's time that's actually cooking the food, nor the cleanup. So I used to eat out often because I valued my own time and my own energy. And then when I couldn't eat out, my kids cooked because I thought it was important that they learn how to cook. So that's where I was a few years ago. And I started cooking because I read this book. But then I read another book. Now this is one of my favorite books. But you have to be a nerd to like this book. It's called Buy This, Not That: How to Spend Your Way to Wealth and Freedom by Sam Dogan. Sam is from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. So it's important that you have different perspectives about life because cultures see things differently. So this is what Sam wrote. Most people have been trained to believe that cooking and eating at home is the wisest financial move. But is it really? The best way to tell is by factoring all costs of preparing meals at home, including, especially, the cost of your time. Calculate what your time is worth per hour and then do the math. If you make $50 per hour and spend 1 hour cooking and 1 hour buying $30 worth of ingredients, your meal better be worth at least $130. Unless you enjoy cooking, it may not make sense to come home from a long day's work and spend an hour cooking. You could be using this time to unwind, play with your children, or work on your side hustle. Workaholic. When you factor in all the costs, ordering meals several times a week may not be as indulgent as it seems, especially with the proliferation of food delivery apps. These food delivery companies are heavily subsidized by investors, which results in cost savings for you. Take advantage to buy yourself more time. And that's the point. If I spend my time cooking, I'm not using that time to generate income. So I'm not sure that my energy is best cooking. Now, I do believe that if you have a large family, I would say at least 4 people, then it might be worth your time. But now I have found food delivery apps that lessen the cost of going out. I love Too Good To Go. One of my coworkers told me about Too Good To Go, and they sell end of day meals that they haven't sold all day that they don't want to put in the trash. So that cost is cheap. I can afford that. It's like $6-7 for a meal that I didn't have to prepare. I don't have to wash the dishes, and my kitchen stays clean, which is the point. So now I can buy quick preparing foods from the supermarket. I love me some yogurt, some cereals, some granola, some eggs to put in my bags of salad and get prepared food. So I found my happy medium, and it's not cooking at home. So the point of this is that if you buy fresher food and you can get it at a deep discount, that's the best option. What I started cooking at home because I couldn't find healthier meals, but now I can. So cashing out is wrong. It is not cheaper to cook unless you have a big household. If you have a small household like I do, you can afford to spend the money within reason and use that time to do other things that generate more money so that you're not spending your time or energy on cooking. You are what you eat. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for joining me. And read By This Not That. Bye-bye.